Welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. This is the water signs Tarotscope for all the water signs. It's going to be, instead of a separate video for each sign, it's this month I've decided to, because I'm running very far behind, I've decided to put just them in all one video grouped. So basically this is going to start with Scorpio, then move into Pisces, then Cancer will be last. And then the last grouping that will go will be the fire signs. And hopefully I'll get that done today. I'm supposed to do another live of charmings and such, but I need to, let's just get into this. Anyways, so I just feel like it's crazy how I run out of time lately. I don't know what is going on with me. All right. What does Scorpio need to know for September? Keeping in mind too that these are broad spectrum readings, so they could be, some of this you may be able to relate to and take and add to your situation, or it might, ring true with your situation, and some of it may not, and that's completely okay. Anybody that has any heavily placed planets in water signs may want to watch this video for each sign accordingly. You guys know the drill. I can't believe I'm so tired today. It's just crazy how burnt out I am on the weekends. I think it's this job, to be honest. Okay. Not this job. I mean, not doing these readings. What I mean is the job that I have. It's just fairly emotional and weird. Okay. All right. So since these are quick and dirty, the way that I've been doing it, I've just been throwing the cards straight up so that we look at it all as a whole versus card by card, just for expedience and all of that. Okay, Scorpio, leave it to you guys to kick it off with the devil. Get it, Scorpio. So we've got the devil as your center. We've got, oh shit, the high priestess as your foundation. Scorpio's not, coming in lightly this month. And then we have the hanged man as your higher self, Scorpio. Oh, Jesus, what are you doing? That's 3 major arcana down the center, Scorpio. I'm a little afraid for you. We have the chariot as one of the outside influences. If you get one more major arcana, Scorpio, I'm going to be scared of you. Okay, 2 of Pentacles. So right out of the gate, I'm going to say that this is going to be a big month for Scorpio. It's going to be a challenging month, I feel like. This is not the easiest of major arcana cards to work with. With the devil in the center, I kind of feel like, let me just look at this for a minute. I almost want to feel like I kind of want to say you might be being your own worst enemy a little bit. Maybe you're being overly critical of others or yourself, not letting up on the gas, so to speak, as far as in your life, or trying to, push things through that maybe shouldn't be through. You might be a little bit caught up in ego this month, or a little bit sort of, and there's nothing wrong with ego, don't get me wrong, but I just kind of feel like this devil is working against you. Generally, the devil usually is. It's trying to point out to you, or at least what I think the devil card represents, is it's sort of trying to point out to you where you're your weakest, where you're enslaved, wherever you're trapped, that sort of a thing. The devil can have like sort of a carnal pleasure sort of quality to it, and you guys do rule sex, death, and regeneration. So could be a little bit of that too, as far as, you guys could be having intense just feelings around stuff, or connections with people, that sort of thing, where it gets maybe a little bit addictive in nature. But ultimately, I kind of feel like this is maybe you a little bit at odds with the world. And I'm not exactly sure why, but I kind of feel like you're in resistance to what's going on around you. You might be pissed off, you might be emotional, you might be mad. Devil is Capricorn energy, and we are in Virgo season. So I kind of like that combination. But I feel like devil brings with it sort of hard lessons. Capricorn, sort of the one that can carry the world on his back in a way and not complain about it. And that sort of, to me, is possibly that energy. It's like There's this phrase that I know of called "We're only as sick as our secrets," and I feel like this Devil card is those secrets this month for the Scorpios. It's not like we're necessarily sharing them outwardly, but they might be burning us up from the inside, if that makes any sense. So just be aware of that. I ultimately think that whatever these secrets may be, or this like these resentments or emotions, if they're fiery, if they're angry, if you, they may very well be justified, right? They may very well have like solid footing or solid foundation in why you feel the way you feel. It's not that it's bad or wrong, but do we want to let it pervade everything that we do or how we go about doing anything? Is that doing everything this month? And that's the part where it gets kind of questionable, or maybe we might want to think twice before, acting out on our more, say, carnal desires or more impulsive nature stuff. Does that make sense? Like if we're angry at the world and we want to just please ourselves by, yeah, I want that one thing, we might want to think it through, if that makes sense. And the reason why I say that, we see this Two of Pentacles here, which is all about kind of maintaining a sort of a grounded balance and everything. You're also surrounded by, and you have this Capricornian earth energy in your center, but you're surrounded by water major arcana. You have the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. You have Hangman, which is Pisces, and you have High Priestess, which is also Pisces. So you have a lot of like heady, kind of intuitive, emotional, watery energies around you. That's not a bad thing. I think that that's actually a good thing for the Scorpios, but it's not the easiest read, if that makes sense. Hanged Man has a little bit of a sort of stuck position to him where it's like we have to stay, I almost feel like we have to stay stuck in the resentment of this devil long enough that we can get like sort of the wisdom that we need out of the situation to be able to finally move ourselves forward. Do you understand? And so that's kind of that energy of the Hanged Man. So if we're frustrated with life, or we're stuck in a rut and we can't figure our way out, and we're lashing out at the world around us, or however we're interacting, it's coming off wrong. That's why that's the Devil card in the center. It's not like we're bad people. I'm not trying to say that, Scorpio. What I'm trying to say is that the way that you're like interacting is not working for you, and you need to see that. You need to figure that one out, and you need to I kind of feel like it's important that you figure it out. That's why we see all these major arcana cards. The other thing is the foundation card here now is this High Priestess. She's not a bad card at all, but she's very secretive. She's elusive. She's not necessarily always so like clear and concise with what information she's conveying, or we sometimes have to figure out like, sometimes I see the High Priestess as like the Riddler in a way, like riddle me this, it's sort of like, okay, bitch, what do you want? Like, and that's sort of the vibe that I'm getting from these cards, is that like, we might be majorly, I guess maybe annoyed might be a good word this month with sort of the greater plan, right? Like things may not necessarily feel as they come as easily to us as we want them to, or as clearly to us as we want them to, right? These are cards that are going on within ourselves, though, the Hanged Man and the High Priestess. And ultimately, both of them want us to reach that sort of evolution, that sort of more spiritual, emotional awareness, even sort of psychic awareness of how to deal with the situation or the problem. But with that Devil card in the center, Scorpio, I hate to say it because I love me some Scorpios, y'all are part of the problem this month, or the problem is sort of like within you. It's burning within you, right? So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you guys are bad. It's just this devil needs to teach you, right? This devil, this part of you that's not working for you, you need to see. And you're not going to move forward until you see it. That's kind of the Hanged Man energy of your spirit. Your higher self card up here got you a little bit stuck there, going like, wait, we're going to wait for Scorpio to realize this. Each one of you, you might be manifesting this somewhat different in your life. There's some area in your life that you just want to like, choke the shit out of or roll your eyes at or whatever it is. And it's got you frustrated, flustered, and upset. And all of that is part of these three major arcana trying to show you something that is ultimately for your own highest good, but it comes like with, I don't want to say a price, but it comes with like you need to have patience, or you need to almost sort of be where you are and stop resisting it, is almost the feeling that I'm getting. Like that's what the hangman wants you to do, and certainly the high priestess, and it will all begin to make sense, and you'll be better off for it. That's what I need to tell you. The other cards, the outside influences, we have the Two of Pentacles, which to me, this is about maintaining a balance during all of the intensity of these other major arcana cards that are going on here. This is about just kind of keeping it in your lane, energies around you or situations around you that might be a little bit wonky, but we're going to need to navigate them. We're going to need to balance them. But if we're not careful with that heavy devil energy and the intensity that's going on within us, we could just knock those situations right into next week. And we want to be careful of that. And I think the knock the situations in the next week energy is that Chariot on the opposite side. Like that's also the intensity. Chariot is a positive card. It is Cancerian energy. It is about celebration. It actually, just to let you all in on a little secret, Chariot is the card that came up for tomorrow in the daily. So, but Chariot is about moving quickly, going after one's goal, seeing it, having it, like making it yours, and sort of like pinpointing it, and then kind of one track mind moving towards it sort of energy is how I see it. It's usually positive and celebratory, but I feel like with the intensity of the three major arcana cards in the center, we want to be able to tap into that. It almost feels like there could be a party going on around us that we didn't realize we were invited to because we're sort of so caught up in our own stuff. So keep that in mind. I think that we can move forward. I don't think that it's a bad thing. I just think that there's a big lesson coming out of this month of September for Scorpio, and it's going to be for your own highest good. It's going to be around something that you feel very passionate about or that you feel very connected to. That's that Devil card. I mean, this could be a lesson around a relationship. This could be a lesson around, the Devil oftentimes associates with drugs and alcohol too. So like, if there's anybody out there that maybe has an issue with that, or is dealing with somebody with an issue with that you're like angry at or resentful of, or there's a lot of like pent up stuff in that Devil card in the center, and it just sort of is beginning to need to be addressed. Actually, not even beginning, it's been needing to be addressed for a while now, and it seems like the Hanged Man and the High Priestess are here to hold you in place, not give you your answers until you're really ready. At some point, though, also that Chariot does make me feel like you will be ready at some point. But will that point be this September? Let's see. So let's look at the outcome card for this. And we've got the Two of Cups. I love this card. So Two of Cups to me is very much a romantic card, but the Two of Cups, it ends on a water, Two of Cups is a water, Cups is the element of water, which is your home element. So I'm not angry at that. It feels like all will be right in the world by the end of the month. Your intensity will temper or will phase off, or you'll what's the word I'm looking for? You'll come to terms with it, certainly. Twos are often about dualities, relationships, that sort of a thing, and emotional connections, certainly with the Two of Cups. But to me, I feel like this connection may be more to yourself rather than maybe to the outside world. Understanding and appreciating oneself, accepting of oneself, loving of oneself in such a way that you are able to embrace even maybe the sort of the more darker parts that you had to deal with this month, throughout the month. The Two of Cups feels like that out breath after the intensity of these three at work here. Does that make sense? There's a little bit of a whirlwind energy happening with Chariot too, where things could be moving a little bit quickly or a little bit more intensely than we may want or need, especially with what's going on internally. But this to me speaks to like a peace, a reconnection in a way, or a settling. And I mean settling, like settling down, not like settling for something less than what you wanted. I mean settling in, where things go back to sort of a sense of normalcy, hopefully, or you feel at least a little bit more comfortable in your own skin, a little bit more at peace, or actually a lot more at peace. And that will usher in sort of whatever October has for you, which will be, I think, Scorpio season. Isn't Scorpio October to November? So second half of October should be the beginning of your season too. So I like seeing this Two of Cups because to me, that's very keyed into that, your own water element. I hope that makes sense, you guys. Sorry if it was a little scattered. I need to get these done. And awesome, Jeanette. Hey, honey, how are you? So I think that this is a very powerful month, although it's going to come like with some lessons, right? Intense lessons where you might, like I said, feel a little bit confused, stuck, but you're going to find your way out. Don't worry about that, Scorpio. You will definitely find your way out and you'll be better off for having gone through it. These are like sort of the mystical ones, these three here, they're not easy cards, and they come with that mystical sort of wisdom that you will benefit from ultimately in the end. All right, so let me get to shuffling for my Pisces. What does Pisces need to know for September? Come on, Pisces. Ah, Pisces. Little fish, little fish. Okay, let's see what Pisces needs to know for September. All right, so Pisces center this month. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, that's an interesting center for you guys, but I'll take it. It's Virgo season. We've got the Six of Swords as your past. We've got the Queen of Swords as our higher self, or our higher, our soul card. This is very not Pisces reading to me. I mean, it's good. King of Wands. I mean, I really feel like this is Pisces getting their shit together. And I'm a Pisces, so I'm allowed to say that, you guys. And then we have the Three of Pentacles. All right, Pisces. I think this is not as intense as that Scorpio reading by any means, but I think that this is a really good Pisces to me. The minute I look at these cards, it feels like this month is Pisces growing up. Pisces taking a little bit of responsibility for where they're at and what they want and starting to move their, turn their, no pun intended, actually, with the Six of Swords right here, I'm going to say Pisces is getting ready to turn their ship towards the goals that they want. And they're going to do so with a clarity and a peace, I believe, that is going to be profound for them, that is not their normal sort of go-to energy. And the reason why I say that is because we have so much like air here. We have the Queen of Swords up in the higher self space, which is very analytical. She's still connected to those cups through her being the queen. So she's emotional, but she's not letting her emotions lead her, which is very much a Pisces thing to do. And so Pisces is thinking about things rationally, making decisions like sort of discerningly, not forsaking their emotions, but not allowing their emotions to lead them. The Ace of Pentacles indicates new opportunities, being connected to our world, being grounded. I like it during Virgo season. Virgo is our complementary sign. Remember that. So it's the opposite side of the sort of astral, what is it, the horoscope than us? They're 6 and we're number 12. So we're kind of in our opposite season, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. This can actually be a really good thing. So with the Ace of Pentacles, new ideas around work, money, comfort around the home, doing projects around the home, making your relationships better. And it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic relationships, but if we're like having, inspirations to want to work on, say, our friendships, spending more time with people, enjoying life a little bit more, that would certainly be this Ace of Pentacles card in the center. It's the number one in the Ace to me is the focus should be on Pisces this month, as far as what is it, and not in a selfish way, but what is it that we need to be happy, to feel content, to feel grounded, to feel connected, to feel inspired, because Aces have that sort of energy about them. So when I look at this here, it's about, okay, Pisces wants something new or wants to work a new twist on whatever it is that they have that brings sort of inspiration into their life. that brings excitement into their life, and it's like a legitimate excitement, right? Like something that we can actually like nurture and grow with this ace. Does that make sense? So our foundation is the Six of Swords. This is about moving away from troubled times. Those troubled times can be with other people, outside situations, that sort of thing. These troubled times could also be moving away from, like, say, troubled thoughts within our own mind, our own self-criticisms, our own, like, I can't believe they did this to me. Oh my God, I'm so hurt. Or, you know, whatever that drama was, that's us having moved away from it. That's why we see the newness of this Ace of Pentacles, the opportunity, the possibility, a new chapter, even maybe for some of us. But the excitement of that and the kicking off of that as Virgo season in September rolls out, that's our focus. The thing I love about the Six of Swords being there in the foundation is that that's what's also driving us or pushing us in our, where, like, in the direction that we're heading, right? That's sort of seeking of peace, of that seeking of a calm mind, that seeking of a better attitude or a more positive outlook, right? And we've been trying to get there for a while, and we're now finally starting to actually arrive at the door. That's the Ace of Pentacles. So it's like, come on, Pisces, knock on the door and walk through it, right? We see the little archway there. The cat's like moving the pentacle out of the way for the next thing to come. Now, with this Six of Swords being our guide, this sort of guidance towards, you know, peace, clarity, that sort of thing, we have the Queen of Swords in our higher mind steering us also. She's, like I said, not going to give up the emotions. She's going to be clear and concise. She's going to make decisions more from a place of logic rather than emotion. But she's empowered. She's strong. She's connected. She's wise. So I like all of that. And this, to me, does not necessarily, you know, Pisces tend to be emotional and intuitive, and we work off of like a different, I feel as though a lot of times we march to a different drummer. We work off of a different, sometimes, logic that a lot of people don't necessarily get. But I think that people find it intriguing and inspiring, and we sometimes can help people see the world in a different way. And that's sort of the gift of being a Pisces, I think. When I look at this, though, this is us about, like, us not adapting, but seeing the world, like meeting the world where it is and then working within those confines, if that makes sense, and doing so successfully. That's sort of the vibe that I'm getting from all of this Swords energy above and below us, and then that Pentacles in the center. It's just like, okay, Pisces, here's the game. These are the rules. Now get in there and play it. And we play it rather expertly with that Queen of Swords up there. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, but that's the vibe that I'm getting. Now, the two outside influences, this is also part of the expert playing thing that I'm talking about. The two outside influences, we have the Three of Pentacles, which is successful collaboration. Pentacles energy, we have Pentacles energy as our center. We also have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is fire energy, which is complementary to the Queen of Swords, which would be that element of air, also complementary to the Six of Swords. So these two work well together. They feed off of each other, or they help each other. The King of Wands is about Mr. Like, the way I see him is he's like sort of, he's all about action, not necessarily thinking things through, going on that sort of spiritual push, that desire, making things happen, doing things from a place of authority and intelligence, but not taking no for an answer, right? And so I feel like if this is a person, it could certainly be a fire sign, you know, Aries, Leo, or Sag, that's coming to assist us, show us the way, support us in that way. If it's not a specific person, this would be situations where we get the opportunity to take action, take the leap, take the risk, and it will be around something that we want, something that we desire, because he's Wands. So it should be ideally deeply desirable, exciting, thrilling, all of that. And I think that, I feel like that King of Wands and that Queen of Swords, they kind of complement one another. Like they want to almost flirt with each other. So if we find, if we find something this month that really stimulates us, and I'm not talking about digital stimulation, Pisces, get your mind out of the gutter. But what I'm talking about is, like, if we find the thing, I don't know, like each one of you, it's going to be a different thing, right? But it's going to be the thing that kind of like makes your stomach go into butterflies, gets you real excited, but maybe slightly nervous, but you actually feel like maybe you could do it this month. Like that's that Ace of Pentacles, right? That's the possibility of like, wow, if I'm really smart and I make the right decisions, I could make this happen. That to me is that King of Wands. Like he wants to offer you the thing, if it's a relationship, if it's a new job, if it's a career change, if it's, you know, whatever that is, he wants to try and reward the queen for her smart, savvy nature, reward the pursuit of a more peaceful, loving, balanced life in that Six of Swords. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, and he wants to just give us that, or he's going to show us the way if we're open to it. The Three of Pentacles is about that successful collaboration with others, allowing others to also like open the doors for us, show us the way. Between the King of Wands and the Three of Pentacles, I feel like the environment around us, situations, people, all of that stuff that's going on that we're experiencing in September should be opening doors for us. It's only up to us which doors we are going to choose to walk through. The Queen of Swords is our higher mind or our higher self. And if we're listening to that voice, that analytical voice of sort of more reason than anything, more so than say our intuition, we're going to play this rather well, I feel like. So let's look at the outcome card and see how this comes out for us. Oh, Jesus, Pisces. So we have the Devil. We've seen the Devil in like 3 different readings this month. What is going on? Devil is Capricorn energy. It is major arcana. Look at those little kinky like cats dressed as bunnies, like chained up. It's like a German S&M party. Anyways, and that's, you know, that may be your ilk, Pisces. So this could be a great ending for you. Usually to me, the Devil is not a great ending for a month. Let me just look at this for a minute, because I want to ask, when I look at this Devil, where are we most challenged? Is it through our fears? Is it through our worries? But see, the thing is I don't know how we get from the Queen of Swords to this Devil, because the Devil to me, the Queen of Swords feels very like dry, analytical, being clear-minded, not being overly emotional this month, really pursuing stuff. It's almost like this Devil doesn't feel correct. Like he doesn't feel like he belongs here, or is this something that we haven't dealt with? Is this something that, I mean, I don't want to scare any of the Pisces, but if any of you guys get a situation that pops out of nowhere where you were like, didn't expect it, and this would be a big situation. At the end of the month, don't be surprised. And I feel like I almost feel like this Devil is a little bit of a wake-up call in some ways for the Pisces. And some of you, like I said in the previous reading, or in Scorpio's reading where we saw the Devil card as the center, I don't get the same feeling where it felt like Scorpio was not relating well. I feel like this is like something that stops us. And I want you to understand that my outcome cards are not necessarily set in stone. I never want anybody to think that with any of my readings. Whatever I see in a card that's in the future is always open for change through free will. So keep that in mind. But I feel like this Devil card is kind of like life jumping in front of us and sort of putting us not on blast, but okay. I feel like all of this is moving along smoothly through September, and I feel like this is some sort of event, situation, something that's important to us, certainly, that abruptly changes. And it does not change for the good. It kind of feels like it's, you know, it stops us dead in our tracks. And it shakes things up. And ultimately, in that shakeup, we will learn something. It might be around something that we care very deeply about. This could be a loss, even though it's not the death card, but I feel like in some ways, I don't know why, but I'm feeling like this could be, you know, some sort of a loss or an abrupt ending to something that we didn't see coming or that we weren't expecting, is the feeling that I'm getting, because it does not feel like it's congruent or in alignment with everything else that I'm feeling in these cards. It feels like this is life on what we call life on life's terms. Like this is like a situation that's bigger than Pisces, that kind of maybe rears its ugly head by month's end. It's going to require us to deal with it. It's Capricorn energy. Capricorn's associated with the planet Saturn. Hard lessons come with Saturn. This doesn't have to be a struggle. Pisces, I don't want you to freak out, because I feel like we're so good in all of these other cards. We need to keep that cool, calm, collected, analytical nature of that Queen of Swords, even as we experience this devil or whatever this could be that could. I just feel like the visual I'm getting is like it's jumping out in front of us in as we're moving forward. Like we don't see it coming, and it surprises us, and it makes us have to stop. We don't have a choice in the matter, and have to look at something either differently or through other eyes, or something's being taken away. It's got that kind of a vibe to it. So, and again, not necessarily set in stone. So I don't want all my Pisces freaking out, wondering like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Because that's not the point of this card. Ultimately, the devil is there to teach us. He's going to show us where we're sort of needing work, where we're sort of needing to shore up our defenses in a way. This could be something that was sort of unexpected, and we didn't really realize that it could be just a big shift that's going to feel unfair in some ways. So that's something to look out for by month's end. It could carry us into October, or at least, you know, be the beginning of our October's focus. Okay. So let's go into the next. I hope you understood that, Pisces, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. The next sign, hey, Brittany, I did do Scorpio. They went off on the beginning of the reading. So the next one is going to be Cancer, and then we will be done with the water signs, guys. And Scorpio had a whacked out reading, like good, like crazy intense cards, though. Like I was sort of surprised. So let's see. All right, let me get Cancer going here for September. My lovely Cancers, what's going on, you guys? I mean, that devil card in that Pisces reading can be anything from like the loss of a job unexpectedly. It's like that kind of an energy where it's like, boom, all of a sudden the situation shifts, and it feels like it's a scary shift. Like it's something that we don't expect that's going to bring up fear in us or worry. But it doesn't have to be, okay? Just keep that in mind. All right, Cancer, what does Cancer need to know? Okay, so for Cancer Center, oh my God. Oh, my water signs are gonna have a month. I have a feeling. Okay, let's just look at everything before we get too far into this. That fucking devil card is back. We've got the 6 of Cups. Oh my God. We've got the 7 of Swords. Devil showed up in all 3 readings for water signs. That's wild. We've got the World as an outside influence. Oh my God. And we've got the King of Pentacles. So I'm not mad at these outside influences at all. All right, so let me look at this. This is weird because I feel like this is a revenge fantasy, this reading. That Seven of Swords and the Devil it feels like Cancer's pissed. And you want to seek out revenge. And I feel like it's sort of because things were once idyllic and good, or that's the Six of Cups in the past, like things were connected. I don't know if any of my Cancerians are going through any sort of messy breakups right now, but that's sort of that Devil Seven of Swords energy in the higher self to me. The Seven of Swords is like sort of the betrayal card, or the, being lied to or stolen from, that sort of a thing, but it's in your higher self space, which to me, it's not like your higher self is stealing from you, but it could be that like you're not necessarily like I feel like these two cards are angry at somebody else for whatever they did to you, or whatever they destroyed, whatever they took away from you, however they mistreated you in some way, or things didn't work out. I mean, this doesn't have to be a romantic, necessarily like a romantic breakup. This could be an end of a friendship. This could be the end of a working relationship. Say a boss fires you and you're not like fully over it, Cancer, right? And there was a moment in the past where things were good, like we were happy, it was all together, things were smooth, you were grateful, and you don't understand. It's almost like this to me, the Devil that was over here in Pisces reading, which is like the thing that jumps out to shake us up. Cancer's just gone through it, or just experienced that, or is about to like experience that this month, and they're going to have to deal with the sort of I don't know if the aftermath, I guess it's the aftermath, maybe the emotional aftermath, or the upset around that, and start something new. Now, the reason why I think something new is a good thing is you've got, as your outside influences, you have the World, which to me is it's the last card of the major arcana, but it's also like the endings of some things, so something new can be born, right? So the whole journey can start over again. You have this cyclical sort of figure eight of like how we kind of go and through and over and over again, and we learn, and each time we learn, we acquire a little bit more knowledge, and then we go back through the cycle of the major arcana again. So to me, it's about assimilating the knowledge and the wisdom that we've gained, even if it's been painful or at a loss, or maybe slightly harmful to us. Even if we feel like we've lost something that we held very dear to us at one point in time, I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. And I think that the world wants to support us in moving on to sort of that next chapter and fully closing down this one, if that makes sense. King of Pentacles on the other side also feels beneficial to me, because he is sort of like the master provider. So while we might feel like we're losing something dear to us, or that mattered to us in a very big way emotionally, I think that it almost feels like the King of Pentacles is kind of like the universe or the environment around us wanting to gift us with a few blessings as we deal with the emotional fallout of whatever this sort of loss was, if that makes sense. The King of Pentacles can indicate an earth sign individual, somebody that's either Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, that could be trying to help us along the way, possibly an older male, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. And it is Virgo season, so I like that the King of Pentacles is there, right? He's very much in line with Virgo birth season, and so he's going to like show you how to sort of navigate some of this stuff, or at least give you some gifts, whether it be through, like I look at this and like I see this sort of weird revenge fantasy happening between the Devil and the Seven of Swords. But it's like, while we're stuck in like, oh, I want to kill them kind of. While we're stuck in, God damn them, I can't believe they did that to me, we get a raise at work. Like, that's what it looks like to me. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like to me. Is like Cancer may be stewing in their own juices and really pissed. And rightfully so. That Seven of Swords would indicate we were wronged, or Cancer was wronged at some point in time. Something was taken from them, something very dear. That Six of Cups is a very like endearing card of like love, family, community, that sort of a thing. And so ultimately, that being the foundation of this reading says to me, we will get back there, but we have to go through this rough patch. We have to go through this sort of loss, maybe we were somewhat dependent on whatever it is that we lost. That could be Devil energy too. And we might feel like we've been, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, we might feel like we've been robbed in some way. That would be the Seven of Swords, right? We might feel like life is unfair, and that why couldn't it have just stayed idyllic and nice the way that it was? But the reason why is because I feel like with the World there and the King of Pentacles, there's something more out there for you, Cancer. There's something different that you've yet to experience that wants to be given to you. We can't receive things until we have a space in our like energy field or in our world, in our life, created and available for it to come in and fill in. Does that make sense? And so if that is a new job, if that is a new relationship, if that is new friendships or a new perspective on life, even to talk about something a little bit more, vague or broad, we have to sort of shed away or destroy kind of whatever was existing in that place, in the place of where we're going to have this new perspective come in or this new opportunity come in, right? So in essence, we have to take the loss, and we're in the process of taking the loss in the month of September. And as much as we don't necessarily like it or enjoy it, we will ultimately get something, I feel like, that will be beneficial to us in the end, not only from a material standpoint, which would be the King of Pentacles, but also from sort of like, I think, an evolutionary standpoint, which would be the World card. We will have learned something that we can take with us that changes us possibly as a person and changes us ultimately for the better. It makes us wiser, more complete, more whole, right? Maybe at not only a mental level, but also at, like, say, a spiritual or emotional level too, right? So that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from that World card. Is it's going to sort of shift and change our world, but it also changes us within it. Does that make sense? And so I think that even if we're in a place where we feel betrayed or we feel like something was stripped from us or taken from us unfairly, and because you're Cancers, you're going to feel just like Pisces do, just like Scorpios do, it needed to be taken away. And let's be honest, with that Seven of Swords up in the top there, it wasn't really good for us anyways. Like, Seven of Swords would indicate not necessarily the nicest of people or situations, the most honest. It's certainly not that energy, right? So we've probably been being lied to or being, I don't know, like stolen from. Seven of Swords is not upfront. It's not fair. It's not kind, if that makes any sense. So with that in mind, that might be a little bit of what we need to kind of grapple with and settle within ourselves so that we can move forward with the new changes that the World and the King of Pentacles wants to bring in for us. And so that is what I see. So let's look at the outcome card and see what's going on. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords. So this is that revenge fantasy. Somebody's like hurt Cancer this month, or maybe not this month, but you're dealing with the fallout of that hurt this month. And you're going to end in a place where it's still going to hurt. I'm going to be honest, because the Three of Swords is not the most easiest of cards. It's about past pain, heartbreak, heartache, that sort of a thing. But what I feel like we're getting to by that month's end is that we're getting to that stage where it's not as intense as, say, the Devil. It's not as painful as, the beginning of the month, or as intense or as all-consuming as the beginning of the month. The Three of Swords, to me, as much as I don't like the image with the three swords through the heart, I always try and focus on the fact that that heart still exists. It's still strong. It's still beautiful. And through work and changing of our thoughts and our perspectives and our minds, we can gently pull each one of those swords out over time. And we're still left with this big, beautiful beating heart, right? And so we're not dead yet by any means. Let's just say that, Cancer. And whatever we've been through, however painful it may have been, or however painful it may continue to be even towards the end of September, We are making progress, and we need to acknowledge that progress during this, this shift, if you want to call it that. I mean, I would call it maybe a loss, because I really do think it's a loss, but to be nicer, we could maybe call it a shift, because really what's happening here is I feel like that world card is trying to position us, evolve us in a way. And so we may not necessarily see exactly how it's changing us, because we're in the moment feeling the feelings and the loss of it all. And so there might be a moment a few months down the line where you look back at this time and you kind of understand why what happened had to happen, even if it wasn't the most easiest of experiences when you were in it. Does that make sense? So I don't want to give you guys any like worry or anything like that. To me, that Three of Swords, although it's a sad card, or like it is about heartache, I feel like it's actually, Cancer's in a better place than you are by the month's end. Like, to me, there feels like there's a more, in that Three of Swords, there feels like there's more of an acceptance of what's going on, how things have come down, or where everything's at. And now we're left to sort of heal ourselves, or work on our own thoughts, work on our own heart, work on our own mind, and where that connects for us. Okay. Go easy on yourself, Cancer. And the thing is I want to say this too, like the King of Pentacles and the World really do want to assist us. So we have beautiful outside influences that want to kind of carry us this month while we're dealing with whatever it is, or wherever it is that we've been wronged. It's funny to me because like the Devil shows up in all three of the water signs cards, which I think is interesting. And he looks like he's showing up in different ways. Like even he showed up in the same position for Scorpio and Cancer. But I felt like the Devil felt much more angry in the Scorpio reading, and much more like resentful or resistant, where to me, like it felt resentful and resistance to the whole environment around it, right? Where to me, this feels specifically directed at one person, one situation, one loss. It feels like with that Six of Cups down in the bottom, something very dear to my Cancers was taken away, either through lying, cheating, outright theft, whatever it was. It was like stripped from you, and you're left to sort of look at that. So it's not an easy thing to do, Cancer. Let's just say that. And so I want you to look to the supportive energies that are around you this month, because they are certainly there, and you certainly deserve them, because you're one of the more compassionate signs of the zodiac. You tend to be the nurturers. And so I don't want you to find or have a hard time nurturing yourself this month, because sometimes the Devil card can, like, that would be the exact thing he wouldn't want for Cancer to do, which is to nurture themselves back to health. He would want to keep you locked into like feeling angry, bad, upset at the situation. Ultimately, I don't think that you're going to, with that Three of Swords as the outcome. I think that you will come to some sort of terms or understanding of where you're at and why. It's going to hurt, right? It's not the easiest card to end out on, but you're not like consumed like with that, what the Devil would represent. Like the Devil would be like, being so pissed off that we take it out on ourselves and we go on a drinking binge all month long, or, that to me is Devil energy, where the Three of Swords is more like, okay, I understand I've been hurt and this really sucks and it really fucking hurts, but I'm going to sit here with this and I'm not going to let it beat me. I'm going to sit here with it and I'm going to understand it and I'm going to work on it and I'm going to nurture my way through this. And that's what I feel like is how you end out your September. Now, if for the Cancers that are watching this and this does not sound like anything about your life, that's fine. Don't worry. It doesn't mean this is going to happen to you. So I want you to know that this could be maybe only for a specific Cancer. I don't know, but that's sort of what I'm seeing here in these cards. Okay, you guys, that is your water signs. God, water signs, leave it to you all to bring the Devil out in 3 readings back to back to back. I love you all, my Scorpios, Cancers, and Pisces. I will be back in a little bit to do the live for the Charming for Sunday. What time is it? It's 4:30. Okay, because I have to get in the shower too, because I have to be ready by 6:40. All right, so I'll be back in a little bit, and I may not get the fire signs done until, I don't know, tomorrow. God, I'm so behind. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful September, and I will see you guys all next month. All right, thank you and take care. Bye.